Mine is ordered pro bundle. Nice. I know a lot of you guys have pledged on Kickstarter. I have to tell you, this is honestly one of the best turnouts that we could have anticipated. You guys seriously like hit that goal so fast, so we really, really appreciate your business. Yes, we will be showcasing the heat press. So today what we're going to be showing you is the designs, of course, on the Aurora, and then we're actually going to show you heat pressed items as well, like a shirt, hoodie, tote bag. So yeah, for Kickstarter, guys, just to clarify, I know a lot of you guys have a lot of anticipation and questions around the shipping. Yes, we will definitely be shipping for Kickstarter orders in March, but keep in mind, right, there will be, of course, a certain amount of quantity incoming. I think the best part, though, with the Kickstarter is truly going to be the fact that we can anticipate how much inventory that we need, especially by seeing how much interest you guys have and how excited you are about the product. So I do think that the shipping timeline will work out pretty accurately. I know the very first comment, some of you were kind of concerned about that, and naturally I understand, but I do think that it's looking like March for a majority of orders. Yes, of course, if you're pledging later, or maybe if you're now placing an order once it actually gets like officially released on the website, then of course I'd anticipate maybe something like April. The longer you wait, of course, there's going to be different, shipments coming in. So definitely makes sense. The D1 Pro does do the curing process. Yes, it does. It is included in that as well. So we'll definitely show you guys that soon. So is the shaker oven combined with the machine like X-Tool, or are they separate? Jen, that is a great question. Okay, so we will go kind of more over this in the demo, but the Aurora D1 Pro is a roll-to-roll automation. So you're gonna actually see it being able to go from the beginning, have the ink go onto the film, go through and have the powder shaken on, go through the curing oven, come out at the end, and then roll up. So that will give you your final result. The only extra step would be the heat press onto like whatever item you're looking at. For the D1 though, that's just gonna be just like a desktop size model. We don't have that here today. It is a part of the Kickstarter, so I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. That's when you'll need stuff like the curing oven and the manual powder shaking, of course, and stuff too. But this D1 Pro is gonna be a roll-to-roll automation. We wanted to have this here today because we're gonna talk a little bit about how you would do a single design. I know that's also a really big inquiry actually that I've seen a lot with our sales team. So just give me one moment here. Let's see if we can look at any other questions we have before we jump into it. All right, so I think we're ready to jump into the demo, guys. Thank you so much for your patience, and I will see you guys again soon.
All right, so the printer is printing. We did go ahead and set the job to the printer. You can see that it is printing the color and then the white. So this is a roll-to-roll printer. So what happens is there's a roll back here that has the film, and then it feeds through the printer and then through into the powder, and then this turns the powder onto the film, and then it gets shaken off, and it actually gets shaken off into a dispenser down here, and then it goes up and over under a heat area, and then that cures the powder and the ink, and then it goes through and down onto the bottom onto this roll here. So that is what we mean by the roll-to-roll feature. It's designed for efficiency and consistency. You can print it directly onto the roll film, apply the powder, cure it, and rewind. Perfect for batching jobs and maximizing film usage. Now, daily maintenance is something that is super important with these machines. You want to make sure you're taking care of your machines. One of those daily maintenance that you can do, as I mentioned, the powder does drop down below into this reservoir. You're going to want to make sure to empty that powder daily. Another thing is you're going to want to make sure that your white ink is circulated so it doesn't get clogged. Thankfully, this has the white ink circulation. So in the back, there are the inks here. It has a circulation mechanism on it, which keeps it stirring so it doesn't separate and it doesn't get clogged. It also does have the automatic maintenance functions. So there is the squeegee, which does wipe the heads clean and make sure that your head stays clean. We also do have the touchscreen control, which allows you to clean the print head just from the touchscreen control. It also does have workflow designs to reduce your downtime. Now, one of the biggest advantages of the Aurora lineup is how much capability it packs into a compact, production-ready system. So you can see this really doesn't take up a lot of footprint, and you can store this in your living room, in your kitchen. I know a lot of us small business owners, we do work out of our house, and this takes up that small footprint area, which is really just an appealable feature of this machine. Now, both models support transfer film up to 14.96 inches wide. That gives you room for large graphics or multiple designs in one run. So the transfer film, I do want to touch on that more. It's 14.96 inches wide, but our print area is going to be 14 inches wide. So that's large enough for any size t-shirt, tote bag, or even sweater. And it's perfect in combination with our heat press, because our heat press presses up to 15 by 15 inches wide. So you will be able to press everything that you print on your printer with your OMTech heat press. Now, where the Aurora D1 Pro really separates itself is speed. It can just print 15 A4 size designs in just 12 minutes. That's a job that can often take up to an hour on comparable machines. That means faster turnaround, higher daily output, and less downtime between orders, which is really important, again, for all of us small businesses out there because of that. Yeah, the small footprint is nice, one of the reasons I got it. Congratulations on your machine, Donald. The compact size is so awesome. Yes, it really is, because we don't, want our machines to take up a large area, especially not all of us have a garage, so that's sometimes convenient if you live in an apartment or a townhome. How much of a smoke smell can you notice or feel? I don't notice any smoke. There's none coming off the machine. And then smell, I don't notice anything either. The only thing I do kind of notice is a little bit of heat, but that's because the heat is on to cure the prints and the powder. So that's gonna be pretty standard. Same with the heat press. It gives off heat, so you feel a little bit hotter. All right, it also does have real-time ink monitoring and automated maintenance from the squeegee blade, which we had already kind of touched on. But with the inks, you want to make sure that they don't get too low. So that's also something you kind of want with the daily maintenance of your machine, is checking your inks. This machine is going to do that for you, because if the ink is low, there's actually lights on the side for every single channel. So the cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and white that will light up when it's low and time to fill up your ink. This will prevent air from getting into your print lines and make sure that your print head has a longer shelf life. It is important that you get a DTF system that's fast, reliable, and easy to run, and this one really does have all of that. Whether you're starting with the D1 or scaling up to the D1 Pro, both of those machines are going to allow you to really level up your business. Now, another cool feature about this is you did notice I turned on the side of the machine to turn on the powder control, as well as the roll-to-roll and the heat. So I can actually increase or decrease those settings. So it does give me that option if I decide I want it to stir the powder a little faster or shake it off a little faster. I can do all of that. Now our prints are almost done here. So once we're done printing these, we're actually going to cut them out and then move on to the press, and I'm going to show you guys some cool features about the press. Could you upgrade to single print head D1 unit to a double by adding another print head? That is definitely something we'll have to check on and then let you know, but I do believe that you cannot upgrade. Impressive speed. Yeah, the speed is pretty impressive on it, which is something you're really going to want for your business. So we're on to our last few designs here. Somebody asked, seeing how everything was lined up in one straight line, does it autofill the empty space if we would like to add some small prints or it doesn't? So you can import those small prints and move them onto the program. So those two different programs, there's the print program and then the rip program. So that's where you're going to import your designs and move around your designs to fit on your working area. And then once you have that all laid out how you want it, then you press print and then it'll print exactly like that. So if you did want to add in a tiny little, maybe a pocket square design, that is something that you can do. With the D1 Pro, does it not do the curing process? So the D1 Pro does do the curing process. That's what you see in action in front here. The D1 is the one that doesn't do the curing process. All right, and it looks like our print job is just about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and filter it. Now I'm just feeding the print film continuously through, so that way it will continue to powder and heat. And then I'm going to go ahead, once I feed it all the way through, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this off the roll. While I'm doing that, Summer's gonna go ahead and just answer some more of your guys' questions and comments.
I do see there is a lot of really great questions coming up here, so I'm gonna just go back here really quick. This is the dual head version, yes. So the dual head version has that 50 square feet per hour. The compact size is so awesome, absolutely, I know, yeah, absolutely. You don't need to have a portable air purifier or ventilation unit. So I mean, honestly, like right now, I have no like smell for fumes coming out of the D1 Pro here. Like Cheyenne had said, it really is just kind of the heat that you feel a little bit. It's not excessive, but kind of normal for what you kind of expect coming from the machine where the oven area is as well. Does the machine need to be used daily or can it be used for a couple of weeks and still not clog? So I know a couple people were kind of asking about that. So that's kind of a common issue with DTF printer. It's just a maintenance thing. So a lot of what our DTF is really going to be known for is some of its auto cleaning features. That will help a lot with keeping things clean. I know, yes, running the machine daily or maybe even every other day would be pretty useful as well. Another thing is, of course, keeping the ink full as much as possible. If you let your ink consistently get too low, what could happen is you could actually create air in your tubing or inside of the machine in the internal components, and that could also damage the print heads. So when it comes to DTF, because you're dealing with ink, contact parts, there's just some little tips and tricks and really just overall best practices to utilize with the machine in order to make sure that you're preventing clogs and things like that from happening. And Cheyenne will definitely touch on that stuff more as we go throughout the live stream, and she's showing you some of the features here. Can you use other inks? Yeah, absolutely. CMYK, other branded inks. We will be selling our ink as well on the website. That is one of the consumables, of course, so we will also be selling that too. When you mention cleaning the powder every day, what exactly do you mean? Discarding it completely or just emptying it to reuse? So when you're doing that, what she means is there's a reservoir for the powder that was already used to go onto the film before it gets cured. So you'll just want to make sure that you're checking it every day so it doesn't overflow, and then you would dump it. The powder is a consumable, so you would be consistently refilling it, also purchasing that item since it is a consumable part. You do get, some of these things up front, of course, in the box, but you'll need to purchase the powder later just to restock up, and again, we will sell that item too. Yeah, so I see, again, a lot of people are asking about the ink. Again, it honestly is one of the most common maintenance issues that you deal with any DTF printer. So very common thing. So like I was saying, just some of the auto cleaning features the machine has helps prevent those things, but little best practices like making sure the ink is full, making sure that you're consistently running the machine, and just doing everything you can to fulfill your maintenance duties and your best practices to keep the machine up and running smoothly. All right, and I think we're just cutting out the designs right now, and then we're going to go back on to actually show you the heat press. That's actually what Cheyenne is doing now, is removing the roll, and then she's cutting out the designs currently. I'm going to go back here and make sure I didn't miss anything here for you guys. And again, at the end, if there is any questions that we missed, we'll be going through and making sure that we answer anything else too at the end with the Q&A. How much does the entire unit weigh? I don't know exactly offhand, but I can get that information for you at the end. All right, I think we're ready to get back into it. So
I do have some prints already cut out here. Thank you for your patience while I did get those cut out. So we have some summer vibes. You can really see that 720 by 1880 DPI resolution, just all the vibrant colors. It's crystal clear in all of these different prints here. This one's pretty cool. And then maybe if you're into nursing, that's another one. And then let's go ahead and show you one more vibrant color print. That one's pretty cool too. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and press these here onto a t-shirt, a tote bag, and a sweatshirt. So let's go ahead and start with our first one. Now we have a white t-shirt, so I kind of want a bright design. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the summer vibes because it's cold here and I'm kind of missing summer. All right, so this is our heat press. Now you can see it does have 4 settings on here. They're labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is actually our presets. So if I know I'm gonna be doing a lot of t-shirts followed by maybe a lot of tote bags, those are gonna be different settings, right? In terms of timer and in terms of maybe heat, plus different fabrics may take some different heat too. That's where the presets are really gonna come into play and make things really easy because I can just switch it and then it automatically switches and I don't have to go in there and change the temperature, the time. So that makes it really, really easy. Now, one tip I do like to do with my designs is I will actually fold them in half, not to where they're fully touching, but just enough to where I can make a little crease in the middle of my designs. So then I know exactly where the middle is. Then I'm gonna go ahead and line it up on my t-shirt. Now, a really great feature I personally love with this machine is it does have this red light alignment tool. So I can place my t-shirt onto the heat press and then I can actually line this up to the middle based on where my alignment is. So there is this little knob on here. When you turn that, that actually changes to where it makes it like an X or a cross. I have it set to the cross, and then I can just easily line it up like that. Now I'm gonna go about 3 finger lengths down from the collar, make sure everything looks correct, and then I'm gonna use this handle that's under here to push in to slide in the press area. Now you also want to make sure you are putting down this paper in between the film and the heat press. And then my favorite feature is the auto press. All I'm gonna have to do is press enter and then it's going to drop down itself and you're gonna see that 80 kilograms of pressure in action. It has the timer, so I can actually get to work working on some other things while that's happening, and I won't need to remember to lift my press because it does have that auto lift feature. So while that's being pressed, I can actually get my next tote bag ready. We'll set that up there. Then we'll go ahead and grab our print. And then you'll see here, there's that auto release. So if I get distracted, say, you know, my kids call my name, I walk in the house, I forget my press is down, no problem because this is just going to lift all by itself. Now, this film is a cold peel film. What that means is you do want to wait till it's cooled down in order to peel it. So we're gonna go ahead and set this over here. Now, while we wait for that to cool, we're gonna go ahead and set up our tote bag. So the tote bags, I personally like to do sideways. Now, this one is a little bit wrinkled. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to give it a little pre-press to straighten it out. Now I pressed it, but oh no, I don't want it to go for 35 seconds, right? Because this is a pre-press, we only want it to go for a couple seconds. All I have to do is press stop and it will auto lift. And that was enough to flatten out my tote bag. Now I'm gonna go ahead, line up that red light alignment, and then line up my design. And I want that pretty centered, so I'm gonna really use that red light alignment. Now, 35 seconds is too long for this tote bag, so I'm gonna go into my second preset, which drops that down to 12 seconds. If I wanted to drop down the heat too, I could have that in there and change all of that everything looks good, so I'm gonna go ahead and slide it in and press enter. Now it also does have a smart safety shutoff. This can heat up to 392 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius, which is pretty hot. And we're all done there. Again, since this is a cool peel, we're gonna let that sit until that cools down. Let's go ahead and see if our shirt is cooled down. Looks like it, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'll do the peel for the camera. This is always the most satisfying part to me. And just like that, you have a shirt that is ready to be sold. You can see that vibrant, clear picture, and just those colors are really vibrant and really beautiful. So we can actually get this on a hanger here. And hang it up with some of our other designs. Let's go ahead and get our hoodie. Now, this is where you're really gonna see some of the color just stand out. I like to do the hoodies and the tote bags sideways, just so that way it doesn't bunch up too much in the back of this press. And then of course you want to make sure everything is flat as possible. You can make sure that there's no seams on the press, so then that way it's giving even pressure to your design. That's going to be the best option for you. We line everything up. Let's go ahead and pick a design here. See, I love this little fun dancing dog. So again, I'm going to line everything up. Make sure everything is nice and straight, as well as centered. The red light alignment really helps me do that. I am honestly obsessed with that, you guys. Now again, I want to switch back to my other preset because this does need to be pressed for a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and guide the sleeve in so it doesn't get bunched up in the back. We want to make sure that it's going to get that nice even pressure. And then go ahead and press enter. Now, while that is being pressed, I do want to talk about the curing oven. We actually do have it here. So you can see that is our curing oven. It does have up to 275 degrees Fahrenheit or 135 degrees Celsius temperature, as well as an adjustable timer with the countdown alert. It does have a built-in fan and replaceable filter, as well as a size of 25.2 by 15 inches. So you can really fit 2 prints in there at a time. Now the curing oven, you won't necessarily need if you're going to go with the D1 Pro. That is good for the D1, unless you want to run single prints on the D1 Pro. Now that is a possibility with the D1 Pro. Let me get this out. We'll lay that out flat. Now with the D1 Pro, there is an option to do the single print. So we do have an attachment here. This is what the attachment looks like. And it's actually gonna go right below where the powder gets shaken off. And then there is a slide cutter in here to cut the film. So we're gonna go ahead and get you guys a nice up close look of that right now. So you can see my film is cut off here. And you can see this slider allows me to do that. This would be placed in here. Show you guys. this pops off, and then we have the ability to do that to run single prints on the D1 Pro if you're wanting to do that in but side by side with bulk printing as well. So both are really a possibility. So now we're gonna go ahead and show you our tote bag. Throw this away. You can see that beautiful color. Everything looks nice and flat. Then let's go ahead and take a look at our hoodie. It is almost cooled. Sometimes I like to cool it down myself with a little wind. Placing it under a fan is always helpful. And you can see just how cute that little dog is, just how vibrant those colors are even on a black sweatshirt. So if you're ready to level up your business, the D1 and the D1 Pro are really what's in store for you, and I would highly recommend it. All right, I think that's it for our demo today. Let's go ahead and welcome back Summer and see what she has in store for us next.
Welcome, guys. Wow. Can we just please give a round of applause in your homes or wherever you're at to Cheyenne for an amazing demo? That was seriously pretty cool. So if you guys want to go ahead and just take a little moment to drop in the chat what your favorite part of that demonstration was. I mean, I think everything looks very beautiful in how it came out. So I know there's a ton of questions, by the way, circulating into the chat, and I can't wait to address those in just a few minutes here. So just stay tuned. First, before we get into it, guys, I want to talk about warranty and benefits. So one thing with the Aurora DTF is it's going to have a 1-year warranty. This is for ink-free contact parts. You're also going to have a print head warranty that's separate. So the print head warranty is 1 month. So there may be some of you out there who are very familiar with DTF printers and some of you who are not. If you're not familiar with them, just myself, the last few weeks, I've been getting my training, demoing with the machine, learning a lot about it. It is a very common thing for the print head warranty to be one of the primary consumables on the machine. But nonetheless, we're gonna have the best support out there for you guys. So we have US-based service here at our Santa Ana headquarters, which is where we're at today. We're also gonna have 24-hour support online and through email. But don't worry, you guys can totally call us Monday through Friday and speak with somebody right away with tech support, sales, or customer service. So we're here and available for you. Last but not least, if any of you are looking for any marketing or collaboration opportunities, please make sure to email us at marketing@omtech.com. Another thing too is please email us at support@omtech.com too for any of those inquiries.
All right, so I see you guys have a lot of questions. I'm so excited to answer maybe any that I didn't get to answer already. So I want to open up the floor for some live Q&A. So go ahead and drop any questions that you may have in the comments now, and we're going to answer them. So I do see...
Oh, I see one here too.
You want to go ahead and answer that?
Yeah, so Leah, you're asking about, please clarify that the D1 Pro does not come with a shaker oven unless you purchase the bundle. Okay, so to clarify, if you're looking at doing batch production, roll-to-roll automation, the D1 Pro already has the curing oven built into it. So what Cheyenne was mentioning earlier is the only reason you would be using this curing oven over here, this attachment, is if you're doing the single designs. So as she showed you, if you're doing the single design, you use your accessory, you insert into the front. That would mean that it's no longer a roll-to-roll automation. So that means that it's going to put the ink to the film. It will automatically shake the powder, but then you have to manually cure it. So that's what the difference would be if you were using the D1 Pro to do a single design. That's when you would need a separate attachment. That's a great question, by the way.
I'm going to scroll back and look at some of the questions.
A lot of love on the demo. Good job.
Thank you. Does it automatically adjust the pressure when going from a t-shirt to a sweatshirt, or do you manually change the pressure? Yes, it will automatically adjust the pressure.
I see some people are asking about second press necessity, or why aren't you using a T-seal? So this really only takes that one single press. It's super seamless. So the great news is that you can actually have any other preset settings that you need, like I know Cheyenne was talking about before, on the heat press, and so it makes it super seamless for you.
I see some questions about the print head. Now this is a consumable part, so that's how come there's a 1-month warranty. I think you can touch on the warranty a little bit more with that.
Yeah, so pretty common, guys. With DTFs, usually the print head warranty is going to be significantly less than the actual like machine parts and hardware warranty. Kind of similar to how you would see on lasers, right? You don't have like a full 2-year, warranty on a laser tube because it is a consumable part. You have a longer warranty though on lasers, like you see 6 months or 1 year, because of the fact that they have a much longer lifespan. So when you're getting into DTF printing, if you really are truly looking at adding something like this into your customization business, you just want to learn about what consumables are for this type of product. So you're looking at ink, you're looking at powder, you're looking at film, and then of course the print heads. So those are going to be your 4 primary consumables.
Yeah. I see someone said, and you manually powder, correct? Yes, for the D1, you're going to manually powder. For this one, it does have the powder in it, so you will just place more powder on the top and then it will shake through down to the bottom. If you are using the single print feature on this, you will still not need to powder it. You will just need to cure it.
I see you say, can we see some prints that have been washed to show how they hold up? We don't have any of those on hand, but that's a great idea. I mean, we could definitely probably show you something like that. So if you want, reach out to us here in sales. Obviously, we have our samples that we did today. I'm sure that we can definitely make that happen. Feel free to call or email us and we can look into that for you. Can you purchase an extended warranty on the print head, and what is the replacement price? I don't know the replacement price offhand. Please reach out to us in sales. We'll get that answered for you. And then 2, can you purchase the extended warranty? As far as I know, I don't think we're going to be doing anything like that. But I'm curious to maybe see if Epson directly offers some sort of extended warranty option, since they are Epson print heads. So again, reach out to us in sales. We'll help you find out. When is it available for purchase? So Kevin, right now the Aurora DTF has launched on Kickstarter. Currently you can make your pledge. Once the Kickstarter project ends, and again, it already has been funded thanks to all of you. So again, thank you so much. We are expecting the Aurora D1 and the D1 Pro and accessories to come live on OMTech.com in February. So coming very soon. Also too, I want to touch on something with you guys. I know that sometimes with live streams, there may be very specific things that we might not be able to show you. Well, we're more than welcome and more than happy to do so. We're actually opening our showroom here in Santa Ana, California at our headquarters this month, and I'm so excited because we're gonna actually have the Aurora and other lasers set up. Reach out to us. We will set up a live demo with you on site or over video, over a call, and we can do a one-on-one conversation to make sure that we're showing you some of the processes you might not have been able to see. So more than welcome to do that, and we definitely invite you to.
I see, if I'm getting it for convenience and not high production, and I'm correct in thinking the manual process would be more economical as far as the waste of material. So if you're concerned about wasting material, that with this is built to reduce waste. So we do have that single print option. So if you are only wanting one single print and you don't want to run it all the way through, that is an option to help you reduce waste. And then just the way that it's built helps reduce the film waste as well.
Yeah, so I also know I had a question from a customer the other day as well. Let's say you did do a single design on the D1 Pro, but you didn't do it with the accessory and then manually curing it in this oven. That would be the best way if you want to save film, right? But if you're still looking to do maybe the whole automation, there would be a lot of film waste. It's about 67 inches minus your print size. So we measured it. It was 67 inches minus one print size alone is only 8.5 for an average print. So you're getting like about, 60 inches, 59 inches of film waste. So definitely something to consider too, some of you guys looking at single designs. Great questions, by the way. I love how many questions we have coming in.
Mm-hmm.
What is the shelf life of the ink? I don't know that offhand. Please reach out to us in the sales department. We'll get the answer for you. Need to come to the showroom. Yes, reach out to us. We're going to be, doing an opening, and I'm sure going to be putting up content. So we're really excited for you guys to see the turnout. We're going to have all of our new machines in there too. So, all right. Will there be? Make sure there's nothing else here. You need a humidifier in the same room where your DTF printer is located so that the ink doesn't dry out. I don't know if that's necessary. I haven't heard of that being a necessity, but that's something we could maybe look into more to answer that question, because I haven't heard of that being a necessity personally.
I would recommend it if you're in a super high humid area, but just keep track of your humidity. If it's relatively average, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. So just be mindful of the area that you're in.
Yeah, and where the machine's being stored.
Yeah. Does OMTech also manufacture ink? I believe we will be selling the ink.
Yes, we will be selling the ink. We will be selling the powder, the film, and I don't think we'll be selling the print heads directly. But again, I think that they could be purchased directly through Epson. So with the average usage too, that might be a question for some of you guys. Average usage, honestly, it really depends on each customer, right? But let's say I'm making 10 pieces of apparel a day or 10 designs a day. You're probably going to be replacing your white ink every 1 to 2 weeks, and then the color about every 3 to 4 weeks for CMYK ink. And that's just a rough estimate.
I see Myra asked, both machines print up to 14 inches, right? Yes, that is correct. And then, so you have to feed the film through and attach it to the pickup roll. Can you let it stream out onto the floor? Yes, you can, but for it to pool from the heat, it's best to put it onto the roll and let it have that tension to pull down from the heat in the powder area.
All right, I don't think we have any other questions coming. So now that we're kind of dwindling down here, we'll go straight into the next fun part of this live stream, the OMTech giveaway. All right, so like we mentioned in the beginning, we are going to be picking 2 lucky winners. It is going to be completely random, and it's 2 $50 Amazon gift cards. I love shopping at Amazon. I'm sure all of you do too. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys the next 60 to 90 seconds to enter. Please go ahead and drop a comment in the chat of what you would like to make first with the Aurora. Again, to enter, please drop in the chat what you would like to make first with the Aurora, or even the favorite part of the demo. Your comments will count up your entries to win those $50 Amazon gift cards, guys.
Nice gift this time. Yes, it is.
Yes.
You can buy maybe some t-shirts or some tote bags to get you started on your first design.
Yes.
So that's pretty awesome. T-shirts and hats, hats and tees. Graduation tees, very nice. Graduation's coming soon. Uniforms, hoodie.
Logos for shoes. Pretty cool. That's awesome.
Dice tray bases. That's cool. So if you didn't know, DTF can actually be pressed onto other materials besides cotton. I have heard of it being done onto wood and even acrylic. So that's something fun that you can look into. And if you do that and make any sort of project like that, be sure to tag us in your content. We would love to see that.
Yes.
I want to make $1 million. Love the machine. You can do that. Start scaling your business with OMTech machines, and you can definitely do that.
Question on Kickstarter, it says only machines. What about the oven and heat press? So whatever you did pledge on Kickstarter, if it didn't include the heat press or like the oven or anything, then it wouldn't be included. They may only be doing that when it actually gets released on the website. I'm pretty positive it is only for the machines, unless it says it is included in the description for what you pledged. All right, so we'll get into our winners here. So let's go ahead and get them selected.
All right, let's see who our lucky winners are going to be. Now, if you do win, be sure to contact
marketing at omtech.com.
Yeah.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Chanto and Storm Creator I5J. You guys are the lucky winners of Amazon gift cards. Congratulations.
Make sure to
Yes.
email marketing at omtech.com.
Yes, and then email us too with your username. Let us know that you won those $50 Amazon gift cards, and we will be sure to get those to you right away. All right, guys. Well, it has been such a pleasure. I know some of you have been with us from the beginning with our live streams, and some of you guys are just joining. But for us, it has been a truly amazing experience to be able to run through our products with you and just have the opportunity to learn with you. So thank you for joining us.
If you want to learn more, check out the Aurora product page and feel free to reach out to our team if you have any follow-up questions. If you're not already, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and tag us in any content that you post. We love to see your ideas and what you guys create with OMTech machines. Thank you again for joining us. It was such a pleasure doing this live today with you all.
Bye. See you next time.